Hello everyone, I am back. You probably did not know that I was gone or missing or whatever, but basically I've had a really hard time reading in the past week just because of anxiety. So I just wanted to share all of that drama with you, mainly because it helps me to talk about it. So please, I realize that my story happens to loads of other people. I'm not trying to be dramatic about it or anything. This is just helping me to get out all my feelings by talking about it. And then today is the best mail day, so we're gonna do a haul after that. So basically, everyone on here probably knows, if you followed me before, I'm at a super high risk for breast cancer. And when I moved to Michigan, I had been basically advocating for myself in Illinois for a really, really long time to start screening early because of my family history, and I wasn't able to. And then finally, when I moved here, I got put on a very, very crazy regimen, which I don't think is very common. And basically, I knew that it would increase the chances of me getting biopsies and other sorts of things because, they are searching really, really well for breast cancer for me now. So basically, every 6 months, I get some sort of a scan combined with a clinical exam. And February is the time when I get my MRI. It happens every year, no big deal. I'm not intimidated by the MRI machine or anything like that. I'm not claustrophobic. It's not a big deal. So I went in this time not really feeling any kind of way because I'd done it before and it wasn't a big deal. So that was Friday the 12th, I think, right before Valentine's Day. And I knew that the results were going to be bad because of the questions they were asking me about the left side of my body and when I had my COVID vaccine and all sorts of stuff like that. So I kind of enjoyed the weekend and was able to put it out of my mind, but I knew that on Monday I was going to get bad results, and I did. So on Monday they told me that it was actually not related to COVID at all. So that's when I started to worry. And they said that there was another thing that lit up on the MRI. So this was a breast MRI, by the way. I don't know. My mind's all over the place today. So that was on a Monday. By Wednesday, they had set me up to get an ultrasound. And the ultrasound was really annoying because I had to put my arm over my head in an uncomfortable way. And they not only had the ultrasound technician, but some student who was training. And basically, they couldn't find it. So then the radiologist came in and even he did it again. So I was like, oh my gosh, they couldn't find it. So I got dressed and I got to go see the imaging, which was really cool because normally I don't see the pictures from my MRI, but they pulled up the MRI and they showed me the spot and how there was this other thing that they knew was normal that they were using for guidance on the ultrasound, and they were not able to find anything. So then on that Friday, which was just a few days ago, I basically had to go back in the MRI machine so that they could do a biopsy because the MRI machine was the only thing that was seeing this spot. So I had to go back. I had an MRI, then they put the contrast in, then they pulled me out, and then they numbed me and basically shoved this lancet marker sort of thing in me and put me back in, checked to see if it was in the right spot. It wasn't, so they pulled me back out, readjusted it, put me back in. Then it was good, so they pulled me back out, and then they put the needle in for the biopsy. It's a vacuum biopsy or something like that. And then they took that out, and then they put in a little titanium marker nugget thing. So, I'm basically a superhero now. And then they squeezed me for a while so that I wouldn't bleed. So that was great. And then I had to go get a mammogram. Okay, sorry, I had an alarm going off and it stopped the recording. So then I had to get a mammogram so that they could see basically that the marker was showing up and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that was it. And then basically it was a Friday. So this whole weekend, I just have been convinced that I have cancer, which is I am anxious as far as medical stuff, but this was like different. This, like, I felt different. There was all these timing things and all these feelings I had that I was like convinced for real this time. Like, this felt different than any of my other fears about stuff. And I know that this happens to other people all the time, where, especially if you're screened in the way I'm screened, stuff is going to come up, and it is very rarely cancer. And I know that tons of other women have had this experience, but it was just really, really scary. So anyway, so finally, around lunchtime today, I found out that it is good and it is just benign. No big deal. Yeah. So in March, I go to see my, my AP that is like, or no, PA, sorry. I don't know why I reversed that. My PA that is like basically in charge of coordinating all this testing, and I see her every March. It's just like our annual meeting where we go over things to see if there's any other things that have happened in my family, or any new testing that we want to do, or whatever. We look over the scans for the past year. So that's coming up in a few weeks, and it will be nice to talk to her after all this has happened. Anyway, so basically, like I said, I'm not trying to share this to be dramatic. I just want to share this to be open and say, like, this was heavily on my mind and weighing on me over the past week. And I just feel so light and so free now that I know it's good. And there's some changes that I had been thinking about that I definitely want to put into effect, just because, like, if I would act in a certain way if I did have cancer, maybe I should think about making those changes now. Anyway, with that being said, we won't go into all that, but it is like the perfect mail day for so many reasons. First of all, I have this old lady friend, and she's actually my grandma's friend. She is one of what we call the coffee ladies, which are basically, my grandma was a stay-at-home mom, and she would have her friends come over, and any kids that were not at school would like play together, and then the ladies would have coffee, chat, play cards, whatever. And they just kind of like were all neighbors, and they hung out together. And so I have become friends with one of these coffee ladies. My grandma is, I want to say 93. So I don't know how old this lady is, but she's probably in her 90s as well. And she just wrote me like the warmest letter. First of all, the card says, "Some people add to the joy and the good in our lives in ways we hadn't really expected. Hope you know you're one of those important people, and I'm someone I'm lucky to call my friend." And basically, I had mailed her a postcard because Heather told me about NaNoWriMo, and so she was one of the people that I thought of. I didn't want to have a list or anything. I just wanted to think about people and send them, you know, thoughts when I was thinking about them, and send them some love. And so she was one of the people I thought of. And in her card, I won't read you her card, but she was saying like, "That's so weird, great minds think alike," because she literally just got this card and was going to send it to me anyway. So she ended up replying to my postcard, but originally she was just going to reach out with like, you know, a warm card anyway. So that was funny. Okay, and then I got page 1. This is my first ever page 1 box. Lindsay got me hooked on this. Well, I shouldn't say I'm hooked because I've never gotten a package before, but I will link her below as well. She's the one who told me about it, and I'm so freaking excited to see what's in it. So I'm going to make myself save it for last, and we're going to go first to Book Outlet. Oh, nope, just kidding. First to Book Depository. I got this book, My Life in Houses, which is a memoir from Margaret Forster. And Sarah from Your True Shelf told me about this book. I'm not sure that she's read it. I think it might just be on her shelf. I would have to ask her or go back and watch her video again. But basically, it's just like this woman telling her life story through the homes that she has lived in. And I think it would be really interesting because I'm like obsessed with the UK. So to hear about her life in the UK would be amazing. And I also have this really weird thing with homes. I love going on home tours, which is probably why I have old lady friends. And I love moving myself, not the actual moving, but the like redecorating a space and like where to put furniture. Like I'm constantly rearranging my apartment. And yeah, I think this would be really cool. And the other thing is I'm really into like historic places. There have been a few apartments that I've lived in that are pretty historic, and I'm always just thinking about like other people that have lived life in the same space as me in the years past and what that looks like, especially for one apartment that is like in a civic center. And so I think it used to be an office and it's just like thinking about it as a space that was not always an apartment. Okay. And then I had a book outlet gift card. So this is all the stuff I got with my gift card. I got Attending, which I think is about mindfulness in medicine. I got The Poison Garden, which I think I was looking for books about Wales, and this story takes place in Wales. It says, when more than 100 members of the Ark, a mysterious and sinister apocalypse cult, are found dead by poison in their isolated community in North Wales, those left alive are scattered to the winds with few coping skills and fewer answers. For 21-year-old Rami, who has never known life outside the compound, learning how to live in a world she has been taught to fear is terrifying. I think this sounds so good because not only does it take place in Wales, which I'm really interested in visiting one day, but it's about cults, and I think they're super interesting too. The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. I think this is about them not stealing, but like protecting manuscripts, I think. Well, I'll find out more later. Then I just got every single book by Rebecca Solnit that I could find on there. So this one is Wanderlust, which is just about walking, and I really love walking for exercise. So curious, more so in the summer. I'm curious what she'll say about it, and I just love essays that are about life and nature and everything that's kind of cozy like that. I got The Book of Books, which is about the PBS books, the Great American Read that was on PBS. I don't know what's in here. I hope it will be really cool though. I really enjoyed that series when it was on TV. Then I got an Uncommon Atlas, 50 views of our physical, cultural, and political world. This will be really awesome to look at. Another Rebecca Solnit book, A Field Guide to Getting Lost, which I feel like is also about walking. The Education of a Corner, which is a memoir, I believe. Probably. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going. Then A Far Away Nearby, which is by Rebecca Solnit. I don't know what it's about, but, you know, I like her. She's cool. I have a signed book by her somewhere on here. The Undying by Anne Boyer. I feel like this book was super hyped like last year or 2 years ago. So decided to get that. The Falcon Thief, a true story of adventure, treachery, and the hunt for the perfect bird. For some reason, I feel like this is also in Wales. Well, it's in the UK for sure, but I don't know if it's Wales or not. For some reason, I thought it was. Wait. Yes, remote cliffside in Wales. Then Uncanny Valley, a memoir. Don't know what this is about, except I think it's about like tech sort of stuff. And I've heard that it's really good, so I'm gonna see. And finally, I heard about this book before. I cannot remember where I heard about it from. It was not BookTube. If people have talked about this on BookTube, I would be curious to find out because I haven't seen that. This is called Text Me When You Get Home by Kayleen Shafer. I feel like I heard about this on a podcast, possibly a true crime podcast or something, but I can't like really pinpoint where I heard about this book. But basically this is about female friendships and just like the tight like connection that we have with other women and how like much value friendships add to our life. Like there's all sorts of relationships in our life, but I think that the bond of friends is super, super important. Like especially in this past week, like thank you for those of you who listened to me when I was freaking out crazy town. Like I really appreciate you. I know, I knew I was overreacting. I knew this happened to so many people, but it just felt different this time, and I was convinced it was different, and I'm so glad it was not different. So thank you guys for listening. And finally, page 1. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have been waiting for this for so long. They sent me a tracking number and it never went anywhere, so I contacted them and they sent me another tracking number, and I've been a little bummed I had to wait until basically the end of the month for this, but it's like the perfect day. So ooh, okay. So when you open it, this is what it looks like. And I've heard that it comes with like a little something bookish. So, ooh, okay, I'm really into games. And this looks like a game, Matchbox Games. It's called Slip of the Tongue, Don't Say the Forbidden Word. It kind of sounds like Taboo, but maybe like an off-brand. So basically, there's like a word you have to get people to guess, and then there's other words beneath it that they are not allowed to say, which is basically the same as Taboo, but this is way more compact and easy to bring places, so that is amazing. Okay, I should probably read this first, but he loved books, those undemanding but faithful friends. That's by Victor Hugo from Les Mis. We celebrate love and our love of books with you every month, but especially in February. Wishing you lots of love in your reading and daily life. From your literary matchmakers. And then on the back is just their promise that if you don't like the book, they will take it back. So I'm hoping I like this book. It's kind of like a little bit like nerve-wracking or whatever. Like you're stressed that like someone recommends a book to you and like what about if you don't like it or whatever. There's a little bookmark. It says fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. I feel like that is relevant in the US. So this is the book they sent. It's thin. It feels like paperback. I think I said I just showered. I'm in my PJs. Dinner's in the oven. I'm hoping to read whatever this is tonight, and since it's so thin, maybe I can finish it. I don't know. I just love the wrapping though. I'm so excited. Okay, I don't know how to unwrap it gracefully, so scissors. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, there's an old school lady on the back. That's all I know. It's a memoir. Ah! Okay. I've heard about this book, but I've never read it. Bettyville by George Hogman. I'm so confused. Oh. Okay. Anyway, it says, when George Hogman leaves Manhattan for his hometown of Paris, Missouri, he finds himself an unlikely caretaker and near lethal cook in a head-on collision with his aging mother, Betty, a woman of wit and will. Will George lure her into assisted living? Well, when hell freezes over, he can't bring himself to force her from the home they both treasure, the place where his father's voice lingers, and the scene of shared jokes, skirmishes, and behind the dusty antiques, a really acknowledged conflict. Betty, who speaks her mind, cannot quite reveal her heart, has never really accepted the fact that her son is gay. As these two unforgettable characters try to bring together their different worlds, Hodgman reveals the challenges of Betty's life and his own struggle for self-respect, moving readers from their small town, crumbling but still colorful, to the star-studded corridors of Vanity Fair. The result is both an indelible portrait of a family and an exquisitely told tale of a prodigal son's return. I'm so excited. So that's that. Okay, I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna catch up on YouTube videos because some of my faves, you know, you made some videos recently that I haven't watched. and actually loads of you. I have like a big list on my watch later. And then I'm gonna read this. I'm so excited. And thank you guys for listening. I know I'm being overly dramatic, but this is just how I feel. And yeah, I just wanted to share. Thank you guys. Bye.